C-uas, or Counter Unmanned Aerial Surveillance, or Unmanned Aerial System, really depends on where you read it. Not to be confused with Unmanned Aerial Vehicle or Remote Piloted Aircraft. I'm sure some officer somewhere got a great OER bullet for coming up with a new acronym that we already didn't need. Anyways, it's a hot topic in the United States military, and in all my comment sections everywhere, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere, people want to know, is the US even care about unmanned aerial surveillance? Yes, it is a huge deal in the United States Army, and a lot of systems are coming online. Let's go ahead and take a look. With drones becoming the wave of the future, obviously the United States military had to react. So for the Army specifically, they actually opened up the Counter UAS school in Yuma, Arizona. Now, this is not saying that current air defense systems can't do the job, but everybody everywhere needs the ability to take these things down. Now, in theory, majority of the time you could probably use the Air Force's solution. They drive around on the runway and shoot at it with 12 gauges. I wish I was joking. I saw it firsthand. Air Force security forces driving around in CENTCOM on the runway shooting at drones with 12 gauges. If it's stupid but it works, it ain't stupid. So first and foremost, can US Patriots shoot down the cheap little dinky drone? Yes, but it's very expensive. Your average Patriot missile costs anywhere between $2 to $5 million depending on who's purchasing it. And before anyone goes, no it can't, they got through in Saudi Arabia, because I always get those fanboys in my comment section. Remember, when that was happening in Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates was shooting them down with the exact same system. Matter of fact, they shot down a $200 drone with a $2.5 million Patriot missile. Just go ahead and flex that oil money. So what does the United States military have that can handle these situations? Well, let's go ahead and take a look. So I dug into some short-range air defense systems. Now, naturally, we've always talked about the Stinger, and the Stinger is a very good, very functioning system. And a lot of you old heads out there want to talk about the Avenger. The Avenger is going away. I'm sorry. The Avengers now, the entire U.S. Army's Avengers are going over to the National Guard. They will not be in the active component anymore. There's a reason. So first and foremost, we have M-SHORAD, or Maneuver Short Range Air Defense. It's a Stryker chassis, and there's two different variants, one of which is the kinetic version, the other is the directed energy version. What is the difference? What do they do? Well, the kinetic version happens to boast that it has 4 Stinger missiles, 2 Hellfires, and either a 50 cal or a 30 millimeter chain gun slaved to the top of the system. Now, if you pay very close attention, you happen to notice those little circle things on all 4 corners of that. That's because without an outside sensor, that thing can detect, identify, and engage its own tracks from a set distance. Now, I've seen variations in this distance, but I'm not sure exactly how far it is. Yeah, those are Hellfires. So technically speaking, you could put the knife missile on this. I don't know why you'd want to, but fuck it. Now directed energy M-SHORAD, which looks a little bit different. You see this weird dome thing that they have up here on top? Unfortunately, that's the laser. Now it is multi-directional, and the way the whole system works is a little bit smoke and mirrors at this point, but it is a 50 kilowatt class laser. And what it does is one part of the system happens to identify and maintain targeting of that track, and the laser just holds on to it until it falls out of the sky. Unfortunately, the laser, it doesn't make a sound, it doesn't make any visible light, it doesn't even shake the truck a little bit, so it's pretty lackluster. Would it have been that difficult to put speakers inside this thing and make phaser sounds from Star Wars? I don't think so. And for the US military, this is a huge force multiplier because taking down a drone now costs about as much as a gallon of diesel. So for everybody in my comment section, what about those $100 drones? $4.30. Unless you're in California, and then it's like, what, $9? Wait, is diesel even legal there? Uncle Sam is bringing frickin' strikers with frickin' laser beams. You know what's better about shooting lasers than shooting missiles? Lasers move at the speed of light. Don't we have anything in current production that can do anything about these drones? Well, yes we do. Introducing the LPWS, or Land-Based Phalanx Weapon System. It does this. A lot of people refer to the LPWS as the C-RAM, or Counter Rocket Artillery and Mortar. That's what it does, that's not really its name. Some people also call this the land version of C-uas, or the Navy's version, which is close-in weapon system. Yes, this is a Navy platform that has been modified and moved over to the Army. Pretty much all we did was take it off the ship, bring all its important components, and give it a tan. Now the cool thing about the LPWS is it can identify, track, and destroy its own targets. Most of the time it was doing this job against mortars, rockets, and artillery, but C-RAM nowadays should probably stand for Counter Rockets and More. In case you're wondering exactly how big those bullets are and how many of them are thrown in a second, 75 a second of 20mm high explosive shells. Yep, just leave it to Uncle Sam to make it hail in the opposite direction. Are people starting to understand that air defense is not a one-stop shop and one system can do it all, and if you have layers, things work a whole lot better? And then there's something that I've never even heard of. the Coyote drone. It has a ground version, it has a truck version, and the truck version happens to have a KU band antenna. I know literally nothing about this other than the fact that what it's doing is super cool. Now, the US military does have certain shoulder fire capabilities that just cut off all signal from the host unit, and this causes it to either land or just drop out of the sky. That being said, I didn't want to report on that because it's no fun. Because to me, reporting on Counter UAS and saying it landed nicely just doesn't have the same ring as it was shredded by bullets. It was blown the fuck up. It was melted into a plastic plate. Well, I got some hardware ordered so you guys won't get as much of an echo in this room here, and I'm going to continue to improve upon the things as I work over here on YouTube. So as always, do not give in to the 22 a day. Every single one of you are amazing, and I will see you guys right here next time. Do not forget merch, coffee, and all my other links in bio, a little top banner on top of the screen. Click on the bottom right. See you guys.